Welcome to another episode of Famitsu. Check it out. My name is Paul Smith, and this is OWR Games. This is the latest issue of Famitsu for the week of May 22nd, 2020. And yeah, we're going to be looking at the latest issue of Famitsu. We're going to talk about some of the most anticipated games, the top games in Japan right now, as well as the weekly cover story and features in the magazine and snacks. So, yeah, let's check it out. Let's start. So, the cover story for this Famitsu is actually Xenoblade. The definitive edition is coming out soon. I'm not exactly sure when. We'll check it out in the magazine. But yeah, this is a remake of, I think, like a remake of the original Xenoblade, which came out on the Wii. Um, uh, some gamers will remember that there was a petition group, I believe, on NeoGAF, other parts of the internet, that were trying to get Xenoblade, The Last Story, and Pandora Tower or something like that. The last some kind of Pandora game. I forget the name of it. But they were trying to get all of those games localized in English and then brought to the United States. I don't think that. I think they were all published by Nintendo, and Nintendo, for some reason, didn't have um, confidence that they would do very well in the States. Um, the, the ding was that they ended up first localizing them for Europe, and so the UK got an edition, but it wasn't for like almost another year that they actually like swallowed the pill and then brought them out to the States. I don't know how well they did sales wise, if Nintendo was right that they weren't going to be big sellers or what. But I remember localizing, or I remember um, importing Xenoblade. Yeah, I think Xenoblade was the only one that I imported, and then I I think The Last Story came out in English in America. I think that was maybe the only one that was localized to come out right around the time uh, that it came out in the UK. I think that was like maybe in both regions at the same time. I'm not sure. And then the Last Pandora, or Pandora Tower, or whatever the hell it was called. I think I bought the American version of that too. Maybe I bought the UK. I can't remember. Um, but yeah, the Xenoblade was a great game. I put quite a few hours into it. It was a huge RPG, and that was something that at least American audiences were lacking for during the Wii U, or the Wii, sorry, the original Wii. And yeah, Xenoblade is just an RPG through and through. It's got a great story, huge game. Interesting characters. The battle system is good. Um, yeah, this guy on the cover here, his name is Shulk. He became a Smash Brothers character, so it's definitely a franchise that Nintendo kind of wants to keep out there in people's minds. Um, so the original game was Wii. The second game was, or I mean, the remake of it was for the new Nintendo 3DS. You needed to have the new Nintendo 3DS because I think it had a bigger processor or something like that that enabled it to look better. And then there was the Wii U game, Xenoblade Chronicles, I believe it is. Um, and then I think that was the only version of that. But then they made Xenoblade 2, for Switch. And I can't remember if Xenoblade Chronicles is just Xenoblade 2 and they remade that for the Switch, or if they're 3 different games. I'm not really sure. So let's open up the book. I'm sure it'll probably tell us in the feature that they've got written for it. Inside the first cover, we see an ad for Brigadine here. I'm pretty excited about that game, and Jeremy Parrish from Limited Run Games, he just posted an interview with one of the producers of the game. Director? I'm not really sure. Interestingly enough, open the very first page before any other thing gets started, the weekly top 10 or weekly top 30, and you've got information about the Xbox Series X. Now, most people who are interested in video games will know that the Xbox has never done well in Japan, and so I find it kind of interesting. Maybe this is being paid for by Microsoft. I don't think it's any secret that Famitsu gives preferential treatment to certain publishers, certain game companies, and so I'm wondering if this feature here is bought and paid for, because it's at a prominent place in the magazine, and they're talking about the next Xbox. So yeah, they're talking about the third-party titles. They've got a list of the third-party titles here. Yeah, so if people are interested in these, I'm sure they probably already heard them. These are the 3 Xbox Game Studios titles that they have here: Halo Infinite, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Gears 5. And then the third-party titles: Bright Memory Infinite from Playism. It says it's a first-person shooter. I'm not really sure what this is. Wait, maybe I've actually played a version. I'm not sure. I'll have to check it out. Dirt 5 is coming. Scorn, I'm not really sure what that is. Chorus, Deep Silver game by a company called Fish Labs. Madden NFL 21, who cares? Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, that's an interesting addition. Call of the Sea, Ascent, Medium, Scarlet Nexus. I wonder if that's a placeholder name, because the Xbox Series S used to be called like Project Scarlet, I think. Second Extinction, Yakuza Like a Dragon. So there's a new Yakuza game coming out for the Xbox. I wonder if that one's actually going to be... Yeah, I wonder if that one's actually going to be only for Xbox for a certain amount of time, or if it's coming to the PlayStation 3 as well. One would think if they wanted to sell anything, they would probably put it out on PlayStation 3. But I know that Xbox just did a big deal to get all the Yakuza games on Games Pass. I don't know if they're maybe like buttering up Sega to bring the franchise over. Once again, something I'll have to kind of look into. I don't think that says anything. Let's see what this is. Oh, okay. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the last one that's written there. It's just written in Japanese. Actually, yeah, here's that Bright Memory Infinite from Playism. I think I did play this game at Bit Summit last year. I think I did. And then here's some screens for some of the other games. Yeah, I don't really know that much about them. I didn't watch the latest Xbox press conference thing that they did. So, all right, let's move on to the weekly top 30. Let me just write into chat. I got had some reviewing. Let's see. Yeah, so this is the weekly top 30. Number one, no surprise, is Animal Crossing New Horizons. Stayed pretty steadily at number one. Number two is The Trials of Mana that finally came out. And yeah, PlayStation 4 version is actually above the Switch version of the game by 10,000 copies. Number four is the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Number five is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number six is Ring Fit Adventure. I still want to get this game. Number seven is it's like Eio Densetsu. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that game is. Nihon Falcon game. Well, I can either look it up or move on. So I'll move on. What is it? Smash Brothers Special is number 8. Super Mario Party is number 9. And the new Predator Hunting Grounds for the PlayStation 4 is actually number 10. It's interesting to see that on there. Only 9,000 in sales. As I've said before, these are all physical sales. Japan, usually Famitsu just does the physical sales here. They do show the digital sales once a month, once a quarter. I really haven't quite figured it out yet. But they do show digital numbers, which is pretty enlightening sometimes. Yeah, everything else I don't usually go through, so let's just talk about some of the new additions. Over here we have number 16, Super Real Mahjong Love 2 to 7. Number 18 here is Naruto Road to Boruto. So a Naruto game for the Switch. So if you're into those, yeah, whatever. And then the last one here is Zombie Army 4 Dead War. I watched some gameplay of this game and I thought it looked pretty interesting. Yeah, first person shooter, almost like zombies mode of what do you call it? Call of Duty. You can play with multiple people. So yeah. Now let's look at the most anticipated games of the month. These are the top 30 most anticipated games. Number 1 is Tales of Arise. Tales series is huge in Japan, so it shouldn't come as any surprise. Number 2 is the new Zelda Breath of the Wild game that they're going to be putting out. Number 3, Bayonetta 3. Number 4 is Bravely Default 2. And then number 5, Cyberpunk 2077. Number 6 is Ghost of Tsushima. What was the news that I heard this week? They were working with a Japanese developer, and it came out this week. Can't remember who it was. Ueda's people, both Sony companies, so it's not surprising that they would be working together. But The Last Guardian, yeah, Team Eco or whatever, It sounds like maybe I would guess that since this is being developed by a Western studio, it's a game about Japan. I think they probably would have been kind of checking over some of their uh, Japanese-ness of the game. So that doesn't really surprise me too much. But Japanese people are definitely interested in the game. It's been high up on the most anticipated games for a while. Number 15 is Near Replicant version blah blah blah. Yeah, this isn't even a new Nier game. It's just a remake, I believe. But yeah, so next thing we're going to move on to is the rookie list. So I've talked about this before. This list is only games that have never had. These are all original titles. I'm trying to think of the word that. I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, these are all original titles. There's never been another game in the series. So number 1 is Ushiro. Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Number 3, Cyberpunk 2077. Tenshou. Every time I look this up, I always forget it. What? Yeah, no, Sakuna Hime. Yeah, this game really hasn't changed that much, so yeah, we can just move past it. I've been seeing a lot on this Elden Ring recently. Looks like it's coming to PlayStation 4 From Software game. So they've got some screens here for a for the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's interesting that they have new game systems listed down here. It's coming to PC, Xbox One, XSX is what they're initializing this one to be. Xbox Series X. Xbox Series X. Okay. PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So they've got information here about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's been in the news for the past couple of weeks. Interview with the creative director. Ashraf Ismail. So I'll have to check that out. And then here's the main cover story that we have this week. Xenoblade Definitive Edition. Yeah, 10 years ago, it's coming back. So there's the iconic sword. Yeah, looks like it debuted. Yeah, so this is really the 10-year anniversary. Just a few days before. It looks like the game is coming out on the 29th of this month. And the 10-year anniversary would actually be the 10th of next month. It came out June 10th, 2010. So yeah, they've got some nice screens in here to show off how much better this game looks than the original Wii version. Even when the Wii version came out, it was a new game, but the thing was that Wii wasn't doing high definition graphics at the time. The only thing it could put out was 480p, which is not high definition. But it still did look really nice. It wouldn't stand up to games that were coming out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation. But yeah, I mean, RPGs have never. Well, not I shouldn't say have never, but for a long time, RPGs weren't really the graphics powerhouses that a lot of AAA titles usually tend to be. So yeah, here we got pictures of the world. Over here is some of the stuff that I broke down earlier. So yeah, the original game debuted on the Wii in 2010. 5 years later, they made the remake for the new 3DS. Um, which basically just implemented a second screen. Um, I think there were some updated graphics. Um, the Wii U brought us Xenoblade X, Xenoblade Cross. I thought was called Xenoblade Chronicles in the U.S. Maybe I'm maybe I'm misremembering. And then Xenoblade 2 for the Switch. So, as I said, I think these are different games. Just as a quick look right now, I can't really see if they're any different. Next page is information about its fan base, kind of. There's comments here from different people. Famitsu usually gets users usually write in of their opinions of future future features that they're going to have in the magazine, and so they do a lot of surveys. And so here in this pie graph, you can see that they're asking people, what is your favorite part of the game? Most people say being in the field. A good chunk say story. Some people say other things, and then only 38 people said battle, and then the characters 34. And so, yeah, most people like just kind of being out in the environment and walking around. That's kind of interesting, I think. So here's information about the characters, information about the field, and then people's comments on why they like those areas. Yeah, this person says that the Gaul Plains, he wants to spend one whole day just walking around the plains. This person says that they want to go on a trip when they're walking around. So here's comments from the people who like the battle system. Here's a little kind of a sorry, not facing the camera. This is the battle system comments. These are people, or this is an image of what the battle system looks like. Here are parts of the battle system: arts, vision, and gems. So yeah, I really enjoyed the battle system in these games. I think it was simple enough to be a normal JRPG, but then it was also in-depth enough to keep you interested for the long amount of time that you had to play this game. I never finished the game, but I probably put in, I don't know, like 30 to 35 hours or so, and I don't even think I scratched the surface very much. Story and people's comments about the story, and then what are some of the other things. Yeah, so this person is talking about like the story and like how the story and this person's talking about the music and how the story and the music go mesh well together. And then the person says that the ending theme actually made them cry. Yeah, there's a lot of people here that are talking about the music. Yeah, so this person is also saying that like after they cleared the game, they spent like tens of tens of hours continuing on playing around, and they said that obviously their playtime was 99 hours and 59 minutes. Um, I'm not really sure what this gun means, but I'm wondering if the counter clock stops off at that time. Um, Next over here, this is what the fans feel about the game, what their memories or feelings are on the game. Um, just little comments here and there. So over here, they're talking about like yeah, just different things about the character having to do with the remastered edition. I think they want you to just get a closer look at the characters and how much definition that they put into making the characters look really good. Um, yeah, I can tell you as somebody who played quite a bit of the first game, they do look like they've gotten a lot of love put into them. Yeah, so the graphics are HD quality. It looks like they've updated the user interface as well. Uh, what is it? This is just more talking about the story. This is an interview with Takahashi. Takahashi Tetsuya. Looks like he's the director of the game. Um, and they're just talking about like they're talking about how these things in um, Xenoblade move the genre or uh, move things forward. Oh, this is just a reprint of the interview that they had with this guy in 2010. So these aren't new feelings or anything like that. Um, yeah. Xenoblade no more. Okay, so this is the guy that they interviewed. Yeah, so on this page they're actually asking this guy now what what he thinks of a bunch of different things. Okay, so yeah, I think that about does it for Xenoblade. These are just kind of like follow up things. Coma Bringer. I guess I didn't know that they did that. Uh, this guy is in charge of Monolith, so they're talking about the actual studio and the roots of the studio and like where the studio is going. Um, yeah. Now we're moving into this part that is the check sheet of games that are coming out, and I'm going to tell you right now that I think that the offices of Famitsu are either working from home or not working, or I don't know. But this is the second week in a row where we've gotten quite a bit of a fluff magazine. So yeah, these are all the games that are coming up. Yeah, I suppose that we could go through these. I just want to show you just by flipping. I mean, there's... Oh, wait, no. It doesn't come until later. Okay, here it is. Okay, so never mind. Scratch what I said before, and let's kind of just take a look at some of the games that are coming out recently. Golf with Your Friends, that looks pretty good. Minecraft Dungeons, I believe that's already out. Is that right? No, that's going to be out in a couple of days. What else do we have? This Bug Fables over here, this looks pretty interesting. It actually looks like Mario, what is it? Paper Mario, but with a different story going on. The way that they're doing the graphics looks like Paper Mario. They're bringing back out the Zombie Army trilogy. Bayonetta and Vanquish are coming back out. Lots of Bioshock collection is coming to Japan. That's already out in America. A lot of remakes coming out. XCOM 2 collection over here. And then here it is, your Xenoblade Definitive Edition coming out on the 29th. Outer World. So here's some of the cross reviews. Yeah, I didn't find any of those too interesting. This game looks pretty interesting. When the Past Was Around. Chorus Worldwide is the name of the studio. Yeah, this owl character looks kind of cool. Looks like maybe adventure game. Yeah, puzzle adventure is what it says. Kind of interesting. Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Interesting game to come out on those. Rising Hell. I'm not really sure what this is. Yeah, another Chorus Worldwide game. I have no idea what the hell that is. Yeah, Rising Hell looks like it's a action game. It says here that the character looks like it's from Kiss, which we can definitely agree with. Yeah, it looks like yeah, just an old school beat 'em up or action game. Looks interesting. This is information on the new Yokai Watch game, if you're interested in Yokai Watch. And this is what I was talking about with the offices of Famitsu potentially being closed or working from home or something like that. They're doing a check sheet here for all the games coming out between August and October. And I don't think I've ever seen them go this long out. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44. 44 pages of information about games coming up in, until the end of October. So, yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird that they've devoted this much time to just small little snippets about games. So yeah, I'm not really going to look into here. We're going a little long on this episode, so I just wanted to point out that there's really not that many features in this actual magazine. Now, that's not to say that this isn't a good edition. This is much better than some of the other ones that we've done. They're looking at this game here for their weekly indie look at. Team 17 digital game called Moving Out. Now this looks kind of interesting. I want to find out some more about this. I think I saw a couple of videos about this. It might already be out in the West. It looks like it's out in Japan as well. So yeah, it came out last month. But this looks like an interesting little indie title. Moving stuff. Some of the character design looks vaguely Animal Crossing-esque. So yeah, I might have to check this out. See more about this game. What else? Yeah, so here's the next big feature for this magazine was Fire Emblem 30th anniversary. So yeah, they're going to go into a lot of the Fire Emblem games from 1990 until current. So this is just a retrospective. What do we got here? The very first Fire Emblem. I'm going to see what this actually came out on. Yeah, okay, so never mind. So we see here that Fire Emblem, the original one, came out on the Famicom in 1990. And then 3DS and Wii Virtual Console also had a release of this original game. Now this is Fire Emblem as well. Is this the one that's called Fire Emblem Gaiden? Yeah, this one might be Fire Emblem Gaiden. Which is, I think, it is. Sorry, I didn't see this part. Yeah, so this is Fire Emblem Gaiden. This is actually the first one I've ever played. I put a ton of time into this game and really enjoyed it. Fire Emblem. This is the first one for the Super Famicom over here. Also came out on 3DS and Wii U Virtual Console. This is the next one for the Super Famicom. Third one for Super Famicom over here. Orakia 776. I don't think I've ever heard of that one. I'm not a Fire Emblem connoisseur or anything like that. I do enjoy them. This is the first one for the GBA. And then this is the second one for the GBA. And then third one for the GBA. I didn't know there was 3. Yeah. And then here's the one for the GameCube when they finally came back to home consoles. I remember when this game came out. That's before here, actually. On the GBA is when Fire Emblem became big in the States. I think those were the first ones that were ever localized here. And it was because GBA was a system that I think kids who had bought the Game Boy bought the GBA as adults and wanted more adult style games on the GBA. there were a lot of kids games on the GBA. The GBA was just full of licensed crap. But yeah, there was a lot of adults playing the GBA, and you can even see that the GBA's through the GBA's life, the console changes reflected adults playing it. And so moving from the GBA to the Game Boy Advance SP, which was very portable, you could shove it in your pocket, very discreet, came in pretty discreet colors, nothing too flamboyant. It was rechargeable, so you could just charge it up, shove it in your pocket, forget about it, play it on a bus, whatever. And then the GBA Micro, which I think was also aimed at adults as a way to like, hey, hide this away, so you know your normie friends can't see it, but you can still play your games. I think for a kid, the GBA Mini, that's what it was called. GBA Mini was something that was just too small that they probably would have broken. And so, yeah, you can see that Nintendo made the decision through the life of the GBA to make it a more adult-centered console. And so, yeah, games like Fire Emblem. There was also a Final Fantasy Tactics that came out on GBA. Lots of remakes of Final Fantasy games that came out on GBA. So, yeah, I think Fire Emblem was one of those games that was aimed at an older audience on GBA. And yeah, then when this GameCube one came out, I don't know. I think it was the small audience that the GameCube had made people not buy this game or pay attention to it. I think Fire Emblem was much more of a game that was meant to be played on the go. Next game that came out was Wii. I had no idea there was a Wii Fire Emblem game. After that, we have the first DS Fire Emblem game over here. And then another DS Fire Emblem game. And then we're on the 3DS. Now, I don't remember any of the DS Fire Emblem games, but I do remember that when Fire Emblem Awakening came out, yeah, Fire Emblem came back into people's consciousness. I think that a lot of the same adults that were playing it on the GBA ended up buying it on the 3DS and really enjoying it. And the stories and the way that they were dividing up chapters and stuff like that made playing Fire Emblem on the 3DS much more digestible. And so it was much easier for people to pick up and play, and especially like busy adults. Fire Emblem If, it's a different title than in America, but this is actually, I'm playing through this right now. I wanted to play through this one. What is it? Hakuyo, maybe? Yeah. The bright night or the dark night. I actually bought this one without really understanding, but as I started going through the story, I understood that I'd much rather play through the Japanese side of it. But I am playing through this one right now and enjoying it so far. Then we have Fire Emblem Heroes, which is the mobile game. I put a little bit of time into this. I just am not that much of a mobile game person. And then Fire Emblem Echoes on the 3DS. And then the latest one, the Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is came out on the Switch last year. So last year or 2 years ago. So yeah, Fire Emblem's been through a lot of characters over here. Over here we have some interesting goods for Fire Emblem. Some reactions from the fans here. Looks like an interview. Yeah. And then, yeah, the end of the magazine here. We'll come back to that. Yeah, there's some Hollow Knight goods that they're giving away. These look quite nice. Each one of these is about 3,000 yen, so $30 for each one of these little plushies. My nephew, I think, would be super interested in that. I like this standing cat that's offering you different kinds of bread or coffee. Yeah, and then just marketing information towards the end of the magazine. So let's go back to the snacks. The last thing that we always talk about is the snacks. So here we are. So over here, mini stop, we have tapioca pudding, pudding flavored tapioca. This looks kind of nice. Over here, also from mini stop, is a strawberry parfait. Looks like with maybe ice cream, probably. They do soft serve ice cream at mini stop. Family Mart is doing a so the kaki, the little, I don't even know what we call them in America, but in Japanese they have these things called kaki pea. It's peanuts and then these Asian crackers. I don't know what we would call them in America, but they're the little like half moon looking crackers. They're a little bit spicy. They're really crunchy. Yeah, so this Family Mart chicken is soy sauce flavored, but it looks like the breading maybe is using kaki peas. So that's kind of interesting. Down here from Lawson, there's this cheese pretzel Danish. I love pretzels, I love cheese, I love Danishes, but I have a feeling that this thing is going to be soft and not pretzel-like whatsoever. Doesn't mean I wouldn't try it. It's just not a pretzel in my mind. Down here, also from Lawson, we have duck and cream cheese potato salad. This looks kind of good. 238 yen, so it's not too bad. I think I would try that for 230. So there's some kind of a cake here from Family Mart, cheese flavored. Probably gonna get that later today. That sounds good. And then down here we have a Baumkuchen. What is it? No. Yeah. Yeah, not Baumkuchen, a pound cake. So there's a cream inside the pound cake. Down here we have cheese yakisoba. That looks pretty good. Seafood cream ramen here. That sounds kind of strange. And then we have pork max yakisoba. So these max editions usually have like bigger volume than the rest of them. Over here we have pizza potato, garlic tomato salami flavored pizza potato. These are really good chips. If you've never had them, they're just regular potato chips, and then there's like a dollop of goo on the top that generally has some flavor in it. And so this time around, it looks like it's garlic, tomato, and salami. Next one down is what is it? It says Budo Yamakake. I don't know. So it's something famous from Wakayama Ken. It's green. Maybe it's a kind of wasabi or something like that. I don't really know. But yeah, some kind of a rice cracker here. And then the last one is milky cookies down here. So that's gonna finish our episode of Famitsu. Check it out. Yeah, this is a pretty good issue. Like I said, it was a little light on the features, but I think with a worldwide pandemic, we can forgive the guys over at Famitsu for that. The features in the magazine were actually quite interesting to me. I love Xenoblade, and I really like Fire Emblem. And as I said, I'm playing through the Fire Emblem Fates right now. So it's something that I'm not super knowledgeable about, but I'm trying to learn more about it. Um, yeah, so I think this was a pretty good episode. Let's do this again next week. My name's Paul Smith, and check out my website, owrgames.com. Check out all my socials. You can find me at owrgames on Twitch, Facebook, Mixer, Periscope. Periscope is actually under Paul Smith, but nobody uses Periscope anyways. I don't know why I keep it there. What else? Follow my YouTube at OWR Games as well. I need to get the YouTube set up for streaming out. Forgot that I haven't done that yet. I've been doing these every week. I feel pretty proud that I've been able to get them out at a pretty good clip. Last week, I don't know. All I can chalk it up to is just head stuff. I recorded the episode pretty much on time. It's just that I couldn't get myself to actually upload it onto YouTube. But this week I'm going to do better. I'm going to get the archive up later today or tomorrow. And then, if you've been watching my YouTube, you've seen that I've been trying to get a video up a couple times a day. So I'm going to try to keep on that pace. I think that's going to be the end of our episode. Once again, Paul Smith. Follow me everywhere. Like my stuff. Tell me that I'm doing a good job. Everybody needs a pat on the back every once in a while. So yeah, I will see you next week with the next edition of Famitsu. Check it out and visit my website. Bye bye.